Change isn't always a good thing, and it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes change just is. DJing is no different to that either.
The internet changed the playing field.
I think one DJ went super viral. Why am I in the club and hearing some other DJ doing the same mix, and it's just so uncreative.
The question of whether social media followings and monthly listener followings and all of the metrics leads to bookings, yes, it absolutely does.
There is a kind of real emphasis on DJs who look a particular way because the algorithm likes a certain type of look.
There's DJs I know I'm way better than, but they just look way better than me.
But it's really being able to judge, does the virality really add up to something real?
Just close your eyes. Now close your eyes. Think about the first song that you can remember that your parents sang to you. The first song you fell in love with someone. The first song that you sang at a funeral when you buried a loved one. And then you think about the value of music and the value of culture. And I think that one has to first look at that value of culture. The way the world has shifted is that we're now looking at creative industries, creative economy, and we're kind of reducing it to currency.
Music is a spiritual thing. You don't play with music. If you play with music, you will die young. See, because when the higher forces give you the gift of music, musicianship, it must be well used for the good of humanity. If you use it for your own self by deceiving people or doing this, you will die young.
It is about connection, and I feel like it's something that's innate, being an African person, and in our cultures, before technology was a thing, our technology was like the drum and being around the fire and dancing, because it is actually something that's quite spiritual. Feeling the vibrations of music, it's something that is quite healing to the body. I think that subconsciously, most of us, we crave that, and so we gravitate to spaces that provide that, and DJing just seems to be one of the other, art forms that do that.
There's no substitute for that live music experience or that shared music experience. This is a place where friendships are made. They're made on this dance floor. It's where connections are made with an artist that moves you to tears. It's an opportunity to bring a little bit of spirituality into music.
I think that one of the projects of kind of neoliberal capital has been the deconstruction of that collective element and has been an enforced individualism. But I think that we as humans desire collectivity, we desire sociality, and it is from those positions that genuine radical political change can occur, which is why people coming together in a musical event, whether that be a gig or whether it be a club night or even, just kind of gathering in a social space and listening to music historically, I think that's where the roots of opposition and upheaval happen. And there's a lot of potential danger for the powers that be in that, I would suggest. Rave in its early stages, whether that be kind of UK, Second Summer of Love, rave, acid house and so on, or whether it be in, say, the United States with its early kind of situation in Black and Latinx queer communities in Chicago, Detroit, New York. Kind of central to that, it has been this collective action and a lack of kind of focus on the DJ. The DJ almost there as just someone to get the vibes going. What started to happen in the late 2000s in particular, there was a realization in the American music industry that this could be monetized by turning DJs into rock stars. There'd always been that vibe. There had always been certain DJs who had been visibly successful, whether it's a Fatboy Slim or a Daft Punk or a Moby, these kind of figures who were marketed as being electronica artists rather than DJs. But something happened around the time that America realized it could start to tour single DJ individuals as if they were rock stars. And a lot of festivals in the US, Burning Man Festival, but also things like Coachella and so on, started to foreground the DJ as superstar. So that's where someone like Skrillex comes from, but it's also the pipeline that leads onto the likes of Fred again and so on. Out of that, you start to get things like Boiler Room, where the camera is centralized and focused on the DJ, and people move around the DJ as if they're worshipping the DJ. You also start to see the restructuring of the dance floor in a similar way. In the early 90s, you might have had the DJ hiding in a booth somewhere. You might have never even seen the DJ. Now the DJ is front and center, and everyone faces the front and experiences that in that way. And of course, social media has impacted on this, because social media, which centers individualism, centers self-promotion, self-development, centers the self as DJ. Now everyone wants to be a DJ, but doesn't want to be a DJ necessarily for the vibes, but because of the kudos that comes with it.
The virality and the internet and social media and you know, being able to put your record out and just do it, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't alter the fact that there's still, you know, it's not guaranteed that just because you've had a moment that the whole thing is going to unfold.
I think platforms like Boiler Room had the bright intentions of like creating exposure and visually stimulating sets for DJs. But I think what it has evolved to has not necessarily come out on the positive side, because like now it's more so about glorifying the DJ first and foremost. It's about creating the viral moment. So even though that might just be one moment throughout the set, that has now set precedence for all the DJs all over the world, that like, we all need that TikTok clip. Oh my God, where everyone's like, oh my God, pull up, pull up, pull up. So now when you're playing sets and you don't get that pull up moment, maybe it feels like you're not doing enough. I think for the audience, they shouldn't expect that of every DJ, because that's actually not the case of what it is. And there's something also really boring about going to a show and just hearing drop after drop after drop. Your ears, they need a moment of rest within a set. I think how you curate a set can really kind of drive the energy of the night. Platforms like Boiler Room, unfortunately, have created maybe that kind of expectation that like, oh, it's just gonna be banger after banger after banger after banger the whole night. And when people show up to their local gig, it's not necessarily that.
The best sets never get recorded. You know, like the best part is should never be on social media. They shouldn't be in the digital world, full stop, really. Don't put this party on social media. Don't make it into your most liked post of the week. Be present in this space. Be present, be connected. That's what the dance floor is all about. The minute you have a phone, it's a barrier, and you're not in the room. You're just not in the room, you're somewhere else.
Change isn't always a good thing, and it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes change just is. DJing is no different to that either. I love that because we have something like social media, and because we have like something like YouTube, like music, like electronic music can sort of go outside of the club night. You know what I mean? Not everyone likes to be in that kind of environment, but some people like the music. And I've spoken to people at nights like that, and they're sitting there in the back of the room and they're like, I love house music. I just, you know, I'm not a big social person, and I think it helps people like that. And when I think about recording a set and having it up there, those are the people that I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about, you know, clicks and views and likes, and I know people do, and that's their prerogative, and I understand that there is issues that can come with that'll affect us as a whole. But me personally, my sound, my music, it's for everyone.
In the past, I definitely did feel the pressure of like, and I've been told as well by other people that like, oh, you should post more stuff online. I don't create like that. Yes, I would like to be visible, but within a context where it's not stressful for me and it feels natural and I can convey myself in a way that feels still quite authentic to myself. I feel like being on TikTok and like dancing in front of my camera as if I'm in front of 100 people just does not feel natural to me. There's some people that are able to do that and have that showmanship. I'm just not that kind of person.
Right here. Free pop. Where you from? What you come with them?
I'm just gonna.
I mean, DJs definitely are influencers now, because DJing is not really an act of creation, it's an act of curation. It's showing that you have good taste, and it's pulling together that taste into a mix. But also that act of curation in the time of social media is not just the mix itself, but it's how you present on those platforms. It's everything. It's following the right people, being followed by the right people, having the right visual profile, usually looking good. Like there is a kind of real emphasis on DJs who look a particular way because the algorithm likes a certain type of look.
There's DJs I know I'm way better than, but they just look way better than me. I don't have my titties out or like wearing a mini skirt and got a bust down. Don't get me wrong, there are DJs that look like that are actually good, but I've seen a lot that I'm like, nah.
For a long time, white people have always been given a bigger platform than their black counterparts. If you find yourself, getting a lot more social media traction from the way that you look instead of the sound that you play, I think you should use that to benefit your people of color counterparts. You should use your privilege to elevate the genre, to elevate the community.
The algorithm loves particular faces, but the algorithm also loves celebrating what we could refer to as like moments. For instance, a massive DJ's set in which everyone kind of goes mad because of a particular drop. That thing is likely to do incredibly well on the algorithm. So what you tend to find is there's a constant attempt to do stuff that will game the algorithm and will therefore encourage that content to be circulated. Some algorithmic platforms like Instagram, which is obviously part of Meta, people have a little bit of a grip on how the algorithm works. The same goes for YouTube. TikTok's is a bit more mysterious, but nevertheless, in all of those cases, what tends to be the defining factor is if something seems to pop, if people look joyful, and also particularly if it has a conventionally attractive person at the center of it, that will appear more widely in people's feeds. So you start to see DJs looking for the drop all of the time, looking for the thing that is going to get that reaction. I think it's important to say that algorithms are incapable of anything new. Algorithms are AI. They're artificial intelligence, they're machine learning interfaces that work in the same way as a ChatGPT. They learn from previous activity. So if something is popular on social media, if something is shared widely, the algorithm assumes that that is something that more people want to see. We're living in a situation in which the platforms that we engage with don't want us to see new stuff because all that they understand, all that the algorithm is able to understand and kind of formulate its equations and recommendations on the basis of is the material that it's already seen. If you live in a city where the vast majority of people who are scrolling through TikTok enjoy looking at a particular thing, then you are more likely to see that particular thing, no matter how much you try and game the algorithm in your favor. This is a massive problem for creativity because nobody sees anything that really pushes them out of their comfort zone anymore. Instead, you're seeing stuff based on yours and other people's previous user activity.
I think one DJ went super viral. Why am I in the club and hearing some other DJ doing the same mix, and it's just so uncreative and so unauthentic, and it's just like, okay, is this what we're doing now? Are we just all looking for the moment, or are we here to like enjoy music? And I want to be introduced to new music. I want to hear new genres. I want that to come from like, what the hell was that? And I think us recycling the same moment that someone else created is not a very healthy way of creating an interesting scene.
The internet changed the playing field. The democratization of the music business through the internet meant that everyone now can come in and put their wares in front of people, right? So that is a really good thing and a bad thing, because what it means is everyone can go viral and you don't know what moment it's going to happen and you can't really tell. And so the business sits back and goes, well, I don't really need to work that hard, right? All I got to do is look at what's going on. If that's the thing that's really buzzing and all the kids are going crazy for it, I'll just move in and I'll buy it. But it's really being able to judge, you know, does the virality really add up to something real?
The question of whether social media followings and monthly listener followings and all of the metrics leads to bookings, yes, it absolutely does.
Maybe 15, 20 years ago, people would finish work or finish study for the day and they'd go into town and visit a few of their favourite bars, maybe end up in a nightclub. Nobody does that anymore. Venues like ours, independent venues with a very small team, we have to work really, really hard to present and package Pilgrim as a destination. We have to present what we're doing here as something really special. So what I mean by that is it's not enough for me to book a critically acclaimed DJ to be on that stage on Friday night and just assume word will get round and people will come. Or to assume that the name of that DJ alone will be enough to sell the tickets. We look at the science behind that artist. So what reach have they got? How many followers do they have on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok? How many monthly followers and subscribers do they have and listeners on Spotify? So we do increasingly look at that. That's really important. So if an artist is super talented but doesn't have a good reach and a good profile and a strong following, it can be really difficult to give them a headline show here, because I really need to get 150, 200 people in this venue spending a little bit of money at the bar to make that viable.
If you don't play gigs, you don't pay rent. I think for most DJs, because we all want to advance in our careers, so it really is more so about the numbers. How many people can I get to come to my gigs? And also with, you know, booking agents and that they look at that as a metric to try and get more people into the club. So for some people that do it for money and as a career, it could be like a life or death situation, because
cost of living is so crazy and a lot of these places are going out of business. So companies like us try to help where we can. We can't underwrite everybody, of course, but we do help and we do put genuine time and money and effort in. And without the grassroots venues, there's nothing, because you don't arrive at the top. You arrive, as I said, at the bottom. When you go in and see someone, you know, I remember so clearly going down the stairs at the Hope and Anchor, it's a pub in Islington, and Dire Straits were on stage, tiny pub, I played there myself, that's how small it is. And I saw this guitar player and he was playing guitar in an amazing way. And without those small spaces, I would never have seen him. I didn't do anything about it, but I do remember thinking all of those people I've seen in those places, without grassroots venues and small club nights, and you know, it's the same for you as a DJ. You know, dance music relies on people being able to play records to people. It can't just be super clubs.
We need to encourage and cultivate local consumption. The model of the Live Music Venues Trust in the UK is really good, and there's other alternatives developing these small spaces where emerging artists can prove themselves, and where good artists can also go and collaborate with emerging artists in intimate spaces, you know? Because it's not only about your social media, it's about you activating the people that's going to pay to buy your music, download, stream, your tickets, your merchandise. It's about building that tribe around you, and that tribe we used to build in the old days in an analog world. Now in the digital world, you've got to tell people what your hashtags and handles and all of that shit is. And you've got to groom that fan base You can't go to a venue and not invite the people on your socials to be there.
Social media, it does play a valuable part in it. I do believe it has its place. I don't like the virality thing of, well, it's gone viral, so therefore it should be, we ought to be involved. I don't believe in that. I think a lot of major companies do adopt that, you know, where they go, well, what are your stats? You know, show me, oh, you've only got, 250,000 followers or whatever. Oh, well, that's not enough. No, I don't believe in that. That's not really a gauge, is it? Because yes, you might have 10 million, 15, 20 million streams. You might have 300,000-400,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. But you then find that they've actually got no fans. The virality of the clip is a fleeting moment.
When I talk to artists, number one, remember you're a business. Number two, look at your livelihood. If you're a singer, don't just be a singer, be a writer. If you're a writer, can you do arrangements? So think of the different ways you generate an income as an artist and make others know that that's what you're doing. If you don't want to see yourself as a business, that's fine. But don't expect other people to take you seriously. Also, don't expect them to take your music seriously. If you're going to get up and just go to the jam sessions and be the one hanging in the background and think, everyone's going to notice you. No. You've got to hustle.
For developing acts, DJs, bands, artists, I think that the best thing that they can do is band together and collaborate and collect data and have a goal in mind. If there is one venue that they would all like to play individually, I think the best thing to do is to look at the kind of people that artists A, B, C, and D are pulling, or DJ A, B, C, and D are pulling. Is it the same type of people across a range of genres that the DJs play, or is it the same group of people across a specific sound or movement or genre? And are they able to gather enough data to show a promoter or a venue that they are able to consistently pull this amount of people? And I think you can do that if you're a young group of DJs and you're going to the tiniest venue, or if you are, developing DJs, targeting people in your peer group, and sometimes people outside your peer group. I think that if DJs are working together more than, we're not all islands on our own, I think that we'll achieve a lot more. We need everybody's help again. We're back in that space.
Just close your eyes. Now close your eyes. Think about the first song that you can remember that your parents sang to you. The first song you fell in love with someone. The first song that you sang at a funeral when you buried a loved one. And then you think about the value of music and the value of culture.